All right, all right, all right. You know what? Before we have this talk, hold on. I love this thing. I'm going to do an unboxing video. I already did it, but I'm going to post it probably tomorrow, or I'm going to work on it as soon as I can. But we're going to put in memory of our discussion Logan. You guys can't see him. He's too small, but he'll be down here somewhere. There, you can see him a little bit, but there's Logan. It's not the TV old man Logan, it's the comic book one, but I loved it so much. I grabbed a toy. I don't care. I grabbed the damn toy at Target. I don't know, they're hard to find from what I hear, but if you are a collector, go ahead, jump on it. He's cool looking. It's not from the movie. I'm sure they'll make one from the movie, and if they do, like this 1/6 scale, definitely gonna get my hands on it. It'll be out in 3 years. Look for it on Hot Toys or Sideshow. But with that said, this is not a movie review. This is a Let's Talk Logan. Movie review would, I admit, it would be pointless at this point in time. But I'm going to still highly encourage any and everybody, if you've already seen Logan, go out and see it again. When the movie releases, buy it on Blu-ray. If they release some collectibles that you think are cool, buy them. Support Logan. Any way possible, support it. I firmly believe that Logan is probably one of the most important comic book movies of this generation. Now, Deadpool and Logan, hands down, the most important comic book movies of this generation. And that goes for those of you who might not even be comic book fans, but you're fans of the content of the material. Like, here's the thing. It's hard when you get into, for me, I find it difficult saying, oh, I'm a collector or I'm a comic book fan. It's rough because am I? No. I mean, when I was little, I loved X-Men, loved Wolverine. We were too poor to buy the comic books every month. Get out of here. Maybe we got a comic book every other, every month. A comic book a month, essentially. No bullshit. That's just what it was. And back then, they were like $1, like $1.50 something. But so I'm not really a fan. Even as a kid, I loved them, but you couldn't afford them. You read them at the grocery store while you were waiting for your mom to get done with the groceries. You know what I mean? Even to this day, as an adult, I read the Walking Dead comic. If there's something good, like I'm getting Old Man Logan. I already looked into it. I skimmed through it at Barnes & Nobles. I like it. It's interesting. I'm going to pick it up. There's some other stuff too, Southern Bastards. I enjoy stuff that's grounded in reality. So if it, like Southern Bastards, it's about real people. It's not about superheroes. You know, The Walking Dead has zombies in it, but it takes place in a real world. The worlds are grounded in reality. That's the stuff that I like the most. But when it comes to like comic books, I can't say I'm a comic book fan. You know, I collect one comic book. I read Paper Girls, Southern Bastards, a couple other titles. I'll buy the single issues. But outside of the ones that I collect like Walking Dead, Southern Bastards, Paper Girls, I won't buy the single issues. I'll get the trade paperbacks just for the story because I like the story. When it comes to collecting, that's iffy too. And I'm going to circle around to a point. But when it comes to collecting, like I like having movie replicas around me. With that being said, I was so hyped with Logan, I bought a little toy. You know what I mean? But am I a toy collector? No, because I don't buy them for them to be toys, you know, so it gets rough. But to keep it simple, I'll say I'm a collector. Yeah, I got a bunch of them around the office, you know, how am I not? But when you break it down, I'm more into like the movie monsters. Stand up, Logan! I'm more into like the movie monsters and stuff. So it gets hard to say, like, what are you? Sometimes I joke around, I'll call myself a geek and a nerd, and you'll look around and see some of this shit and be like, yeah, Ronnie's a geek and he's a nerd, but ask some of my friends who know me outside of being a geek and a nerd. It's hard because a lot of us are just normal people. Stand up! You know, back when I was growing up, it was easier. If you were a nerd, you wore glasses, you didn't have many friends, you weren't real good like in social circles. That's not who I was growing up. I'm not afraid to talk to people or whatever. I always introvert, extrovert, whatever the hell they call it, but I forget the names. But I'm just not shy at all. You know what I mean? But back in the day, if you were a nerd, you had pocket protectors like Revenge of the Nerds. That's what I think of when you were a nerd. When you're a geek, you're in the geeky stuff. So a nerd is someone who's smart, who's good at stuff. I see people now, it's like we redefined it, like the sexy nerd, or, oh, that chick's a sexy nerd, whatever. And she's brick stupid. You know what I mean? She just likes comic book stuff, or she likes, you know what I mean, like geeky stuff. So it gets complicated. Now we're redefining everything in this culture, in this nerd geek culture. We're redefining all the shit, and nerd and geek and all this other shit. You can be someone who wasn't a nerd 10 years ago and like X-Men and be a nerd, technically. You know what I mean? It's so weird. My point is, Logan is the movie, the perfect movie that highlights that truth. It highlights it because this is a comic book movie. It's based off a comic book character. You don't have to be a fan of comic books to enjoy it. You don't even have to have watched the other movies in the Wolverine series. I bowed out after Wolverine Origins. I was one of those who got the bootleg version before they did the CG effects and stuff, and that was horrible. And I was like, okay, you know what? It'll be better in the theaters, so I went and watched it, and it was just as bad. Okay, maybe not just as bad, but it was bad. But my point is, I bowed out after that. With the X-Men, same thing. I bowed out after, like, the X-Men Part 3 or some shit like that. I think I just watched recently where they went back in time. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that because I feel like a lot of those movies, they should be something different, and they needed them to be PG-13. Now with Logan, and I think that is bad. Once you start restricting stuff, the creativity from that point on, you definitely take it out at the knees. It's like getting a guy, it's like you're a mafia boss, right? You're like, okay, listen, Joey, come here. Listen, Joey, you need to run these important messages, you know, to A, to B, to C, to D, but I'm going to shoot you in the fucking knee. And then I want you to do the same. That's what happens when you start making writing a script, but you need it to be PG. You need it to be PG-13. And that's the truth of the matter, because your creativity, even me, I'm not a professional writer, not yet. I haven't sold anything, right? My dumbass knows that when you sit down to write something and there's no restrictions, anything is possible. Everything is possible. But when you sit down and you're like, okay, can't have curse words. Now you're affecting the realism of the character. That's important. That's character development. And it's affecting it in a big way. And I don't want to hear the BS talk that, curse words, that's weak writing. Gore, blood, that's weak writing. That's just simply not true. It's just not true, bottom line. Showing brutality is often extremely important depending on the story you're trying to tell. With Logan, they had this little girl. It's a little girl. The brutality was very important. If you would have dumbed down the brutality, it wouldn't have come across as well as it did, you know? And that's why I think the Logan is important for so many different reasons. And I kind of feel like I am all over the damn place because of what this movie represents. And that's why I slapped Deadpool down here too, because he is just as important. This showed Hollywood something the fans have known for a long time, that rated R movies will work and they are good. I know Steven Spielberg and James Cameron, I think it was those two. You can look it up on YouTube. They did a panel a few years ago, and they said, I'm trying to fit a lot into this one thing, so we are going all over the place, and I don't apologize for it. I want to talk about a lot of different things. We're going to do it with this discussion. They sat down and talked about how 3D was going to be the future of movie theater entertainment. When you went to the theaters in 5 years, and this is like 5 years ago, when you go to the theaters in 5 years, in 5 or 10 years, it's going to be for 3D movies. That's what they were saying a few years ago. And these are two people, I love their movies and I respect them as creative minds. When they said that, my brain almost stroked out. It was the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard intelligent people say in the entertainment industry, because we've heard a lot of dumb shit. Well, it doesn't matter. People aren't going to the movies as much because Hollywood has a format. The format creates everything predictable. We've talked about this on this channel a number of times. Rom-com, the best way to pick out the structure. Two people who don't like each other, comedy ensues, they finally are on the same level, they connect, it's romance, and then one of them screws up, and then they split up, and then they realize how they need to be together, and then they rush and come together. That was a really crappy explanation, but you could take that structure and go watch any random movie right now, probably go watch 10 movies, and out of those 10 movies, 7 of them will have... Now, don't go and pick some artsy independent ones and go, look, Ronnie, I I have I have a taste in movies and this doesn't count. No, your general blockbusters this year, just scroll down them and look at that. Even Logan unfortunately falls into that mix. Logan unfortunately has cliche Hollywood writing, even though it's very entertaining and it's going in the right direction by simply lifting the ratings handicap, by simply saying we don't have to force this into a PG-13 movie. That is headed in enough of the right direction to support it fully, even twice. If you've already seen Logan, go and watch it again. But what I'm talking about as far as the cliches, just to clear this up, you could take Logan's story. Here's a person who doesn't want to do this thing, and then he has to do this thing. Logan, The Last of Us, that's an extremely similar theme, where you have the guy has this rocky, shady, dark, dirty past, doesn't want to have anything to do with this girl, and then they grow a bond over time, like a father figure bond. These are cliches that we should overlook because it worked really well. Nah, you don't even need to overlook it. If you want to nitpick it, go ahead, nitpick it, yard out. But I do think that if Hollywood comes around and accepts something that we've always known, and this reverts back to James Cameron and them saying 3D was going to be the future of movie theater entertainment. No, it's not. It's good movies. It's just good movies, good story, different story. All the screenplay, how to write screenplay books in Hollywood, throw them out or get fresh blood. If you want to bring the audiences back, start doing something new. Stop with the structures and all the bullshit you've been doing. It worked in the past. It made you guys a lot of money. It's time for new stuff now. It's time for new blood, fresh material. It can happen and it will happen. And I mean so fresh that in maybe 10 to 20 years, we will have a rated R Ninja Turtle movie and it will blow your mind. We're talking a movie with the Ninja Turtles where, Splinter is really in danger. And here's brothers who just finished their training and they need to learn to work together. And I don't care if it's a tower they're fighting up to Splinter or sideways or every which way. I don't care. He doesn't have to physically be there in danger. I'm just simple, general, off the top of my head example, and they're going to have to use their skills, and each Ninja Turtle is going to have their own specific talent they can utilize to fight back. I don't know if it's a physical thing or whatever, create that, but they're getting their ass kicked, they're bloody, they're sweating, this is rough. I mean, they're getting thrown through walls, this is vicious. No big, huge robots either, just flesh pounding, ass kicking. That's what it is. We don't need to have shit exploding. Just show a Ninja Turtle get beat down like Mikey, the funny one, the nice one. Leonardo's off to the side dealing with some shit. Raph is slamming two guys down. He's beast mode. Donnie's rewiring something, and you just see Mikey. He gets beat down, and this is a guy you love, and he's the comedy side, so your heart is there. And show him just get his face bashed in, and then his brothers come to his rescue, yank on the viewers' hearts at this moment. And then this is where the turtles, they use all the skills they learned. They come together finally after they've been not a well-oiled machine throughout the whole movie, and now they're finally trusting each other, working with each other. And it is just the Ninja Turtles, the family, the fighting, the ninja shit, and just raw emotional entertainment with the Ninja Turtles. Blood, gore, you can have the swords, the size, the bow stick, nunchucks. Use them to affect the best way possible. Imagine that. Just a balls to the wall, ass kicking time with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The way they were supposed to be. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at the history of the Ninja Turtles. I mean, I grew up watching them as a kid, but that doesn't mean they should only be for kids. You have the Nickelodeon cartoon, and in the future, eventually, when Hollywood realizes that you can benefit from a adult side of whatever franchise you have and a kid's franchise. It's not going to work with everything. You can't make a child's version of The Last of Us, but you can have with stuff like the Ninja Turtles, you can create the adult one if you do it right, where, okay, here we go, we got the kids Ninja Turtle movie, but this one is for the adults, straight up. That time will come, and eventually we'll break down barriers and we'll get a Batman movie in the 30s during the Prohibition time. Does it make any sense? Does it connect to the other Batman movies? No, and it fucking doesn't need to. All we need is good stories and entertainment. That's why they make movies, to create entertainment. Get a Batman who is just riveted with, I don't know, I seen some statue of a metal Batman. It looked weird, and it's not the choice I would go with for like a Batman movie, but do something like that where he puts together this crazy contraption of a bat. Take the Batman story, put it in the 1930s, and just go nuts with it. Don't do no time travel. Don't do no crazy explanation. Just take the story, put it in the 30s. That's it. You know what I mean? A Batman set in the 30s, 1930s and 40s. I came a little bit. That's why I think it's important now to discuss it, because Logan is that movie to do this. Logan did something else that I think Hollywood, you need to figuratively ball this into a fist and cram it down Hollywood's throat, or make them see this clearer, is the fact that you don't need to save the world to have a good superhero movie. This is becoming tiresome like crazy. Take a coming of age and make a superhero movie. That would be fun. That would be entertaining. That would be new, and that would be fresh. You don't put at the end of the movie that they need to save the world. Stop that shit. When you need to save the world, like Guardians of the Galaxy, they're guarding the galaxy. So if they want to save the world or save the galaxy, let them have it. But with Logan, unless maybe I forgot about something, but they weren't saving the world. You know what I mean? You could try to say that, oh no, saving the kids was saving the world. I'm not buying that shit. There was no device that they were destroying. There was no portal in the middle of the city. There was none of that bullshit, and you don't need it anymore. When it works and when it is vital to the story, rock out with it. Do that. But when you don't need that, when it's not important, when it's time to say, let's just tell a good story, here's a superhero, you know what? Let's make a horror superhero movie. I say that weird, horror. I don't know why I said it like that, but because superheroes, that's some scary shit. Imagine you're in your kitchen, like I'm in my room right now. I get up, I go get a drink. You know, it's dark outside. Maybe it's a little stormy. Storms, always the perfect setting, especially when it comes to horror. Storms, winter weather, perfect setting. So it's nighttime, got a little drizzle, you know, thunder and lightning, a little flicker, and there's something in the sky, and it just comes down. Don't even burst through the door. Don't even make this grand entrance. It just comes down, swoops in, and you see its presence, its silhouette through the glass out into the porch, and then you just hear the handle creak as if someone's going for the door. You see it's locked, but you just see the handle just crush and rip out, and you hear it. It's slow. It's not like bursting in like a superhero shit. It's slow. It's methodical. He's teasing and scaring the shit out of this guy because he can see him through the glass. He rips open the door, maybe even pushes it lightly. Here's a superhero who can burst through the door. He just rips the knob off slowly, crushes it in, pushes the door in. It creaks as it opens slowly, and then this superhero just slowly walks in. I don't know what he would look like, but let's just pretend he looks like Superman or some shit like that. Has a cape, has a tight suit. You don't even need to do a tight suit. I don't know, but he comes in and then he murders the guy, you know. But the way you film it, though, the way you create those scenes, make it scary. Like the Terminator machines, and this is something I think they forgot, because recently I don't get that same feel. But the Terminator machines, they're scary, and I think that's one thing that I loved, because I loved horror as a kid. I loved being scared. I never felt anything like feelings until I was watching like a horror movie, and I was like, oh man, I'm scared. This is awesome. Let's get more. If you look at a Terminator machine, imagine that. You're in your house, there's no back door, a machine comes through the door. It's a machine. What are you going to do, man? It's just going to crush your head. If you're lucky, it has a gun and it'll shoot you. But this thing is a machine, and it's scary. It looks mean. I'm talking about the machine version, not like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But even that would be scary too. But it's just that thought, that idea, that helplessness. This is all connected to Logan indirectly, but I think Logan is a starting point that is most likely possible because of Deadpool. It's a domino effect, and I say we support that. And that's another really big reason why I have supported Deadpool as much as I can. Obviously, that's a big show of support. Seeing the movies, I got the Steel book day it came out, went to the movies, Loved it. Enjoyed it. I think that's heading in the right direction. Got the DV, got some figures, got some merch. I mean, you don't have to go all out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying consumerism is the answer. I am saying support is the answer, because it'll lead to the entertainment we should get in the future. I want to see a superhero movie where, like my brother explained an idea that I thought was golden back in the day, and he explained it. It was a Superman who was just beaten, like back in the day, beaten, not like today, that was weak as hell, but beaten, and when he cries, it's mixing with blood, so it's like he's crying his blood, and he gives it all he got for his very last time, and he just grunts and goes and flies towards Doomsday. I mean, something just epic and grand and emotional. We don't need this fancy bullshit they're doing now. What they're doing with the Justice League, Wonder Woman looks really good. I just won't put that out there. But what they're doing with this Justice League was, in my opinion, they failed already. They failed before they even got started. They could have done something that almost reached peaks of like Star Wars level as far as records. I think Star Wars is killing it with records, right? And that's something that ties into what I said with James Cameron and them, Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, I think that's who it is, said 3D is going to be the only thing we go to see. It's bullshit. Star Wars, people came out and saw that. It broke records because people want good entertainment. This misconception with Hollywood is that you need it PG-13 because kids can go see it too with their families, and adults will see it. But if you make it rated R, kids gotta stay home, and the adults will go see it. So less of your audience is going to see that show, which is completely ridiculous, because the reason why PG works, PG-13, whatever, is because kids will see anything. Children are more likely to go and see something that us as adults, look at and go, oh, that's bad. Well, no, that's a poor way to put it. Basically, kids don't have a reference for what's good and what's bad. They have stuff that looks fun, looks like it'll laugh, and they'll go see it, whoop-de-whoop. But with when you're a kid, you pretty much like a lot of shit, even if stuff you don't really like. That's why later on you're like, well, that didn't really hold up well. I don't like it as an adult. When I was a kid, I loved it, but as an adult, it's really stupid. Kids will like stupid shit, so that's why they're not as picky when they go to the theaters. They bug their parents to go. Adults will say no. They will say, no, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not spending my money. But when you get a movie that looks good, Logan, Deadpool, adults will go. It has nothing to do with 3D. It has nothing to do with that at all. That was just a ridiculous, asinine thing to say. They broke records. Adults and kids both went out and seen Star Wars because it's Star Wars, and it looked a ton better than the prequels. You know what I mean? So that's why they went and saw that. When it comes to Logan, the reason why it's breaking records is because it looked good, and that's what adults are waiting for. Good movies to go and enjoy, because we don't want to waste money like that, waste our money and our time for shit that we could get at the Red Box later on. It's not a big deal. I don't care about spoilers on Facebook because it's something that I'm just a little bit interested in, you know what I mean? This guy is fine. I mean, damn. He's so damn cool. Look that way, buddy. Anyway, yeah, I would like to continue this conversation about the movie industry and stuff, because it fascinates me, and I still want to be a part of it in some way, even a small way. Like, at Make a Path Presents, I'm scripting my own little short, hopefully I want to do. Don't even get your hopes up, because realistically, it won't even be till 2020. And I know that seems like a far away apart, but when I talk about making a little short, I mean, like, for real, you know what I mean? And it's going to take some time. So I already have the script started, and it has to do with zombies and in the snow. I think it'll be a lot of fun. By that point in time, maybe, hopefully, we will be flooded with zombie content. I would like that, because I think we might have a ton of zombie content, but just not a ton of good stuff. So if we get the good stuff, maybe I'll switch it up and we'll do like a monster movie in the snow or something. I don't know. But I would like this conversation to continue, because you have movies and franchises like, and I'm sorry if you like it. If you like it, fine. But what they're doing in DC, in the cinematic universe, I strongly feel like it's heading in the wrong direction. Absolutely, totally, and completely in the wrong direction. Now, if you guys are into that, I thought Batman v Superman was disappointing, depressing. I thought it was a complete and utter failure, especially Doomsday. You never should have done Doomsday. You should have done a Batman v Superman. Doomsday should have been in part 2 of that. And I don't care what timeline they have for the Justice League. It was a flop, complete and utter flop. You could have done something out of this world with the Justice League, and I don't think that's going to be a successful franchise. I see a reboot in the future. You want to know a good Batman movie? You want to take Ben Affleck? You like Ben Affleck, right? Scratch Jared Leto. Listen, much respect to him, but whatever they have going on with him as the Joker, not working, done. Get rid of it. Do something new. Get a new Joker. Something that is dark and creepy looking. Batman wakes up, beaten, bruised. He's in a huge building in an abandoned part of Gotham, right? He's picking a lock. Let's say he's tied up. Joker, film it creepy, dark, the mood just right, creepy. None of this PG-13 creepy. I mean, adults will shit themselves, creepy. And then you have the Joker who's coming out of the darkness, wearing a Batman cowl, all mocked up. Not Batman's cowl that he's wearing. Obviously, this is something that he's gotten from a fight they previously had, or maybe a fight that Batman had with the goons before. Add some history there. Maybe it was the goons, and this is the very first time that Batman and the Joker have come face to face, and this is the big moment and the big reveal. We started already in it. We've seen his story. We know how it goes. We know what created the Batman. So drop the audience right into it. Show the outside of the abandoned buildings. Go in. Batman is already defeated. He had his ass kicked. He's tied up. Maybe not defeated, but it looks that way. The Joker comes out of the darkness wearing the Batman suit, just the top, and it is creepy, and it's hard to put this out there without a picture or a design or a short, but he just comes out of the darkness laughing, and have him slow and kind of this creepy, I'm overusing that word, but you get the point. Just a slow talking, maybe fast at sometimes. He's creepy but joking around. He's a lunatic. He's an absolute lunatic. But he might have a purpose. He might have some stuff set up. I don't know. So he teases with Batman a little bit, and then Batman gets separated. Let's just cut the bullshit. He breaks free, knocks a goon down, jumps out the window, does a little rope rappel, slams through the window on a lower floor, and he gets the hell out of there. Tries to get in an elevator. Here's a Batman where you already beat him up. He's in this building. You took all his gadgets away from him, maybe a microphone, whatever you had pre-set up. And then the Joker comes over the speaker and he announces that he already took people that Batman cares about, Commissioner Gordon and this person, this person, this person. And Batman can't leave because they're in the building with him. They're trapped in there, and he's going to have them killed one by one. First, he's going to send out clowns. Let's just send out people, creatures, creepy things that look like circus people, or I don't know, whatever. Just let your imaginations rock. Whatever weird, twisted, crazy, creepy shit you can think of, he sends them out to kill Batman's friends one by one, and then he even gives them a hint as to where someone is. Well, Batman foils this plan by getting to one of his friends first, let's say Commissioner Gordon, and they have to work together. Now, it doesn't follow all the people that Batman's with. You stay with Batman, but they have to do different things. Like, okay, go do this. I haven't written that script. That was an idea I had driving to get the groceries one day. Take it back. Say screw this huge elaborate setup. You want to make money? If you have the rights to Batman and you just want to make a shit ton of money, but give something that fans would just feast on for decades, you give them this little story. It's so cheap to make. You can even have something that's huge and massive because you save so much creating this movie, making this movie. Takes place, and I'm talking about a whole Batman movie in one building, one tower, one abandoned tower, and it's all getting out of that. But you do flashbacks of him finding out about the Joker. This way you can cut out all the bullshit, trim the fat. You can have him trying to survive the Joker and his goons in this abandoned building, trying to save the people that he loves the most in this world, and you do flashbacks showing the people he loves, showing why he loves them, showing the Joker, showing the rise of the Joker, him finding out about the Joker. You can even have a cool, crazy scene where Batman was going to get somebody in the mob, and the Joker just had to be there. I don't know, maybe they're working together. You could play around with that backstory and how it connects to the comic. I say, screw that, create your own thing. Don't restrict yourself to the comic, but pull some Easter eggs for the fans. That's always a plus. But you have this moment where Batman didn't mean to, something went wrong, and the Joker gets shot in the face. You know what I mean? I don't know. Kill his whole family, kill the Joker's whole family, and make Batman indirectly responsible for some reason. Do something twisted like that. Just do something dark, creepy, crazy, and I don't care how bad it makes Batman look. I don't mean Batman kills them himself, but he does something to the mob boss. Maybe the mob boss took the Joker's family, and he's like, oh, you're not going to get him back till you do this, whoop-de-whoop. Batman accidentally scares the mob boss so bad, he jumps out a window and dies and kills himself, and the Joker's family dies because he can never find him. So now the Joker is suffering and insane. I just thought of this because he never knows what happens with his family. He just lost his friggin' mind, and he's so enraged at Batman because of this, and that's why he wants to torture him in the abandoned building. That's why he wants to just crush Batman and make him miserable as much as he can, because Batman created this situation, or because of what Batman did, the situation was created where Joker never found out how his family died, where his family were at. Maybe they were buried in the ground and they slowly suffocated because Batman killed the one person who knew where they were. Do some dark shit like that in the abandoned building and do flashbacks. That way you can trim the fat of this bullshit story. You make that for, you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars for these Batman superhero movies. Spend $50 million on that shit, right? Make it out of this world, creepy, intense, dark, and I mean that. Picture Batman. We're never with Batman. It's always got to be something grand or epic or whatever. Just picture Batman out of breath, not knowing what to do, where to go, not knowing this building. He didn't set up anything. He didn't go and investigate previously. He's never been there before, and he's just slowly going around these corridors, slipping in and out of the shadows. Maybe you hear a sound. He ducks back. Waits a minute. Just wait a minute. Wait with him. Don't show anything else. Wait a full 30 seconds. Nothing. He starts to go. Another sound. Ducks back in the shadows. Nothing. He starts to go. Wham! Something comes out of the corner. And then, film it slow and just, oh, man. While Marvel and DC are dicking around doing whatever else the hell they're doing, somebody else is going to come up. They're going to create a character, massaging his shoulders. They're going to create a character that visually looks cool. It's not going to be a part of Marvel or DC, and they're going to take advantage of some of these ideas and then create this monster of an epic, independent superhero movie that's like an art style. I shouldn't say an art style. I don't even know what an art style is, just other than slow and boring and something really cool happens at the end. Anyway, this is what I see for the future of superheroes or geeky stuff. Yeah, let's say geeky stuff in the entertainment industry. It's definitely not, let's repeat what worked last year or the year before that. It is not that at all. Logan is the first step towards that. You guys let me know if you think Logan is going in the right direction. What do you want to see? Yeah, what do you want to see? Dark Superman, Batman, Spider-Man? What do you really want to see? I think they have something really special going with the Spider-Man they could do. Now that's really good, but the only thing I don't like with Marvel is it works for them. It really does, but it's not my type of movie. I was really interested in Civil War, and I had a lot of fun with it, but it's going to be hard to get me to come back, and me particularly, I know a lot of people are fans of Marvel. It just doesn't work for me. When I heard they were doing Civil War, I was like, that's it. That is the Marvel movie that I want to see. Somebody's going to die. It's going to be epic. It was epic, but no one died. And I don't mean like, oh, just because someone dies, it's better. There's more emotion there. There's more at risk. You know what I mean? I never felt suspense, even though it was really fun. You don't, and I think I said this in the review, you never feel any suspense, for the characters, because definitely they're going to make it out of it. And I think with, it's rough because you want them to come back for the sequels, but at the same time, are we here making money or telling really good stories? You know what I mean? I don't know. My creative side struggles a lot with the business side when it comes to filmmaking, because I feel like deep down inside, I truly feel like the creative side will always win with the public. The business side will make you money, but the creative side will make you twice as much, because Logan is a perfect example. Did it make twice as much as the other Wolverine movies? Well, maybe twice as much is a lot, but did it make enough more than them to open your eyes and say, you know what? It's not about the business of making movies. It's about the passion. You know what I mean? I think Logan might be a good example of that. I could be totally wrong, though. They could have went into Logan and said, hey, you know what? Let's make a money-making machine. Let's do something like this. Whoop-de-whoop. But I had a lot of fun with Logan. There's stuff I can pick out that I thought was a little shitty, but there's a lot I loved. I love the fact that this is not a save the world. I love the part where they went to go through the fence and they just didn't go through the fence and they had to go another way. A lot of other filmmakers would have said, oh, we can't, there's no point. You went to go through the fence and it didn't work, and then you went a totally different way. There's no point in doing that. It's just padding the script, whoop-de-whoop. I watched that and I loved it. I thought it was a realism. That was another obstacle in their way. You can even pull a metaphor out from that. I was thinking of something, but I forgot what it was, but I'm not going to waste your time trying to remember what it was. But there's so much you can do in entertainment these days. There's so many different movies. Pick any different franchise, and there's just something different and epic and awesome you can do. Predator is one. Oh my God. Listen, Predator right now, the movies, the very first one was awesome. The second one of my guilty pleasures. It's not the best, you know what I mean, but it's a guilty pleasure. The other ones after that, let's be honest, Predators. Predator versus Alien. Predator versus Alien Part 2. I don't know how many other Predators there are, but I have every one. But they just suck. They suck. They're only good to watch the Predator stuff. They sell statues and figures and toys like crazy. That is a money-making machine, Predator is. Imagine if you take a good story or a good video game, I mean something epic, just give it to the fans. Like if you guys ever played Horizon Zero Dawn, there's this tool, that you use to make tripwire, electric bombs, fiery ones. Imagine a video game where you're the Predator setting up these traps for the people. You go into the hunting grounds with the graphics of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. You go into the hunting grounds, you set up these traps, you have the humans there, and you can explore. You have all these gadgets from the world of the Predator. That's just an idea what a video game they could be doing now. That's something that could be in the works now. Let's take Jason. I'm coming out with I made up my mind. I want to talk about Map Makes Jason. I wrote a script on a bet that made it to the finals of a screenplay competition. 30 days I had to write a script that had a lot of flaws in it. I went back and reread it, and there was a ton of flaws, but it still made it to the finals. What does that say? Not about me. What does that say about the other scripts? My script that I can openly tell you, there's sentences that are just have grammatical errors. There's sentences that it's a mess. It's a mess. I had 30 days to piece together a good story, and I poured a ton of passion into this story, and there's still a lot of work I would need to go back and polish before I would ever give it to someone seriously. So I did it, entered this bet, because I was talking my ass off about writing scripts and stuff, and someone at work was like, bet, and I said, you're on. So I came up with this Jason Voorhees story that, to this day, if it came out, me as a fan, if this type of story came out, it's a wrap. I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan for the rest of my life, and that would be like the holy grail of all movies. Of course, though, I wrote it, so obviously I'm going to say that, you know what I mean? But the point is, what does that say about the industry where you have all these scripts in a screenplay competition, and I get to the first finals, because the other scripts were that bad? Ouch. You know, if it made it all the way, that would have been horrible. Listen, Logan was fun as hell. I loved it. I'm already pre-ordering the Steelbook when they come out with a Steelbook. If they come out with a figure, a collectible, I just need one good figure, a collectible from Logan. That's it. I'm there. So if they come out with a statue with the DVD release, I want to support it any way I can. I might even buy a ticket if I can't go. Oh well, at least I bought another ticket, like a second ticket. I'm trying to go to watch it a second time. But listen, put it this way. Logan is one of those movies where we can overhype, and it's easy to do that. But it is so damn good compared to other superhero shit we've been getting. This should be the new standard. If you're not as good as Logan, it doesn't belong in theaters. It doesn't belong in front of fans. As good as Logan, or better, or go the hell home. Oh, he's got a little articulation in his wrists. I was scared to move it because people said his wrists had problems. I like it. All right, I got to rename this video because I'm all over the damn place. No apologies, because this was a good talk. I like this. I had fun. I hope you had a lot of fun watching. If you wanted just my opinion on Logan, that's what this originally was going to be. But I just don't see a point. I loved it all. I loved it all. At the same time, if you said, well, this wasn't so good and this wasn't so good, I hear you. I absolutely hear what you're saying. Logan is not an excellent film. You know, it's not like winning all these awards. It's just not. Should they win a couple awards? Yeah, there was some truly amazing shit in Logan. Some truly fantastic stuff. Yeah, good. It's definitely worth supporting. Absolutely. Every piece from beginning to end. There's some moments I would have switched up. I would have changed. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. Why would I switch it up? I didn't write it. There's some moments I really wish they would have fleshed out a little better. I wish they had a little more with Logan and the daughter. One thing I will say to counter that, though, I love how they didn't go all out Logan building this bond. I love how they kept it real. I think the realest moment in Logan and the most, I don't know, the epic line, the best line, the one they didn't overdo was when he's sitting down and he tells his daughter, he's like, I'm just not good at this. I mean, that's not a screenwriter sitting down going, okay, I need to write this into a poem of excellence. No, it's just raw and real. Real people talk like that. And it's a perfect fit. It's glorious. It's so simple and perfect. And it fits the atmosphere. It fits the mood. And I don't think changing it for something that's poetically sad, I just make up some of this shit. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but you know what I mean. How they do this dialogue that when they're writing it, they know that's going to be like the line, you know, that'll break the audience. You know this is a sad moment. As the writer's writing it, they know it's a sad moment. The performers know this is a sad moment, and this is going to really get the audience right in the guts. But as a line, it's not worded like a try-hard line. I think that perfectly describes why I enjoy all of Logan, because there's so many opportunities they had to try hard. Obviously, you'd want to try hard. Sometimes I feel like I say shit that it's like, I get what you mean, Ronnie, but that's stupid. But yeah, obviously you want to try hard at making a good movie, but there's some of those movies and scenes we know. We know them when we see them, but it's like, man, it's a little try hard, you know? They're trying too damn hard. When Logan comes out on Blu-ray, another reason why I don't want to go piece by piece is because I want to watch it a second time. I think it deserves that, to have an in-depth discussion, but when it comes out on Blu-ray, I want to watch the behind the scenes. I want to watch the deleted scenes, and I want to have an ultimate Logan discussion, not the movie industry, not other aspects, but Logan itself, the movie. And if you guys want to do suggestions for any older classic movies or new movies that you want to have a discussion about, strictly about the movie, not necessarily like Hollywood, you know, and business and the industry, but the movie itself, if you want to just have a discussion about it, or if you want an in-depth video, because they're two different things. We could sit here and chit chat about different things with the movie for a half an hour or an hour. It's up to you guys. It's for you to let me know what you're interested in. I'm not saying I'm going to make whatever you put in the suggestions, but I want to hear it, because I always want to know what kind of stuff you're interested in as far as video content, because as we're reworking things, I might be able to incorporate some of that stuff into the program. You know, if I want to do a half an hour video on The Thing, it's one of my all-time favorite movies, I'll do it. If you guys suggested it, just as an example, if you suggested it, I'd do it. Spoiler alert, though, that's already in the works. I love The Thing. But anyway, thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'll let you get out of here. Thank you.
Subscribe now.